Hello again everyone, this is Natsu. Have you been believing in this? To improve my English, I should use contents I enjoy. I need to go through one textbook at least 5 times. The best way is to repeat what native speakers say. There's a linguist and psychologist, Chris Lonsdale, best known for his beautiful TED Talk, where he introduced 5 powerful principles for learning any language in just 6 months.
Now, most people, a lot of people, I wouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people think they can't draw. However, there are some key principles, 5 principles that you can apply to learning to draw, and you can actually learn to draw in 5 days. So if you draw like this, you learn these principles for 5 days and apply them, and after 5 days you can draw something like this. So anybody can learn to draw in 5 days, and in the same way, with the same logic, anybody can learn a second language in 6 months.
And some of these common beliefs might not align with what Chris said. My experience is actually close to what he said in the speech. The video I made last year has reached over 650k views. I can see so many people wanted to learn English effectively and possibly quickly too. In this video, I'm gonna explain Chris's 5 principles and my own experience. I hope you guys enjoy this video. As always, if you have got any questions, comments, please let me know. I would love to hear what you have to say. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you're more than welcome to as well. Alright, let's get right into it. Okay, principle 1. Focus on language content that is relevant to you. And guess what? That's not exactly the same as what you enjoy. Do you like horoscopes? I mean, we all like it, don't we? And then we always 100% start with our horoscope, right? That information stays with us, in here for a long time, right? However, do you remember what was written for the other signs? Probably not. So now it's not about whether you like horoscopes or not. So it's just our brains don't hold on to information that are not relevant to us. Think about it. Reread so many, loads of stuff in school, but nothing stays here because, well, they were not related to us. We were like, oh, we don't really care, it's not going to benefit us. We often hear people say like, hey, just use contents that you enjoy. It's not wrong, but from what Chris said, there is something even more powerful than that, and that is choosing content that is personally relevant to you. If you read books and pick ones that give you actually like life hacks or tips that you can use. If it's a movie, choose something that is set in a place where you want to go to someday or somewhere that you have been to before because you feel related. If it's the news article, read ones with the information that benefits you in some way. It's kind of like reading something about subsidies that you can get, right? You jump on it, you try not to forget it because, well, you don't want to miss out the money, do you? So it's kind of something like that. That way we absorb English much more effectively. Because we're humans, we naturally pick up and remember information that help us live better. In my case, I read a lot so far. It's not only because I love reading, there's actually another reason hidden. It's because, well, it was a secret, but now I tell you. Because I kind of wanted to work in that field someday. It was my dream. So every article, like for example, Vogue Australia or Cosmopolitan and Frankie, it's a beautiful magazine from Australia. So every article felt like a personal lesson for me, to help me achieve my dream. Since I'm in Australia, I wanted to understand the culture and the language too. So every single article was a good piece of information for me. So expressions like balmy avo, op shop, mozzie, bite. So, they're the words that I needed to survive in this country. I needed them. So there was relevance, and that made a huge difference for my language skills too. Simply put, liking something is emotional. However, relevance means it helps your actual life. Think about what's relevant to you. I don't know about you guys, but if you are a parent, probably it can be content about raising kids, raising kids hacks or something like that. If you are a student, how about some content about student life overseas? Probably you can find some study tips or live by yourself kind of tips you can actually use. So it's not only about having fun. So if you find content that makes you think like, oh, it's about me, I can actually use it. English stops being just a piece of content and becomes something like your mind and body want to absorb like desperately, because you know that you need it to survive, to live better. So we can start this from today. Focus on language contents that is relevant to you. Okay, principle 2. Use your language as a tool to communicate from day one. Be honest, do you go back to study, study routine because it feels safer than actually using it? I know, I hear you guys. I think many people believe that they learned a word the moment that they see it in English and they can say the translation. For example, what about this word? What's the meaning of this word? Meticulous. Okay. This is the translation. If you know the answer, good on you. Good job. You have learned the word. But unfortunately, it's not true. So in reality, learning English means this exactly. You know the word, you can use it, or when someone uses it, you can understand it. So those three together make it complete. So memorizing the word or understanding the grammar are about, I would say, 60% of its way. And then alas, many people stop there and think, yes, I can speak English, but unfortunately, you are not there yet, right? As I've said many times, knowing something and being able to use it are not the same. If you agree with me, please give me a huge nod. Yes, I can see it. And so I changed how I work on English. Instead of study, and then maybe use it. Probably next week, probably next month, probably after my birthday kind of thing. You know what I mean? But I changed it to study, use. So I learned the expression no-brainer. It means a decision or a choice that you don't even have to think about. And once I understood it, I tried using it. And that's the key. If it works, that's great. And that gives me confidence. Probably the first time I used it as something like, of course. And then in the next round of studying, I'd try to be the master of the expression. Play with the intonation, because there are so many ways that you can say, like, oh, that's a no-brainer. No-brainer, something like this. There are so many varieties. And think about other ways to say it. Like similar expressions or something like that, because words are all connected. What I believe in language learning is compound interest. So when you learn one word, it's not just +1. Depending on how you use it or how you reflect on how you say it, you can multiply. One word can be double, and after that, 4 times, 8 times, there are so many possibilities. You have to use it and you have to be the master of the expression. How can I achieve it? Well, you have to use it. Okay, let's go back to the expression. No-brainer. I make mistakes too, and then I get a misunderstanding, or probably I was simply not happy with how I said that expression, and then I go back to study. So I didn't understand the meaning, probably it was about the pronunciation, and then fix it. And then after that, use it. So I go back to use cycle. So again, knowing something is not enough. So you have to use it. And like Chris says, start using the language from day one. This is important. You want to make a memo because you learn something from using it. That's the reason why I would say you should use it from day one to communicate with people. And actually, there's one question. What do you think about your own English level? It's funny, like a lot of people actually undervalue it. Like, oh, my English is not worth saying, or like, oh, I cannot speak English yet. Now, I want to shout out to you guys, like clearly. Most of the time, your English is much better than you think. So believe me, I think we are all humble and scared of making a mistake, but if you don't do it, when are you going to do it? If it's not today, is it tomorrow? Is it after your birthday? Is it 2030? It has to be from day one. And I think it's about time. We need the cycle where learning becomes real. Probably it's about time to realize going back to study is actually wasting your time. So guys, the knowledge is there. So once you start using it, you will see the magic. Believe me, that's why I believe in this. Use your language as a tool to communicate from day one. Principle 3. When you understand the message, you will acquire the language. Can you please give me the translation of this? I mean, come on, right? I know. But if you translate it literally, how does it go? I mean, it can be lovely morning. It can be great morning too. But why do you say good morning as a greeting? What if you had a terrible morning and then you go to work and do you still have to say good morning to your boss? Is it okay to lie to yourself? I mean, it's a little bit weird, isn't it? I mean, think about it. Why do we still say good morning in the morning as a greeting with a yawning? Anyhow, so, we can say good morning without any hesitation or like think about, oh, what should I say in the morning or something like that, right? So the reason being is not only because this phrase is easy, because you learned it in kindergarten. No, because we understand two things. Number one, the meaning of the phrase. Number two, the message that the phrase is trying to say, and that is the key. There's a famous example in Japanese, this one. Apparently, it was once a way of saying I love you. And then it's not about we understand what tsuki means in Japanese or something like that, We understand it because what the message is trying to say. Have you ever said yes even though you wanted to say no? So you go like, oh, I'm okay. I'm fine. But I'm not okay. Help. We all have done it before, right? So in language in general, your message is more important. I mean, much more important than the literal meaning. So communication is all about understanding the message rather than a translation game. Our educational system pushes us to improve our translation skills. And I think they must have been a reason for that. It's important, but it often hinders the English skills that we are looking for. We need to shift this mindset. So learning a language is not only about translation, right? Like it's not like a word-to-word puzzle game. That's exactly what Chris is saying. Even though you don't understand the spelling or grammar, if you understand the message from someone through their expression and their hands and tone of voice and context, you've actually understood the language. Pretty sure you have experienced this before, but many of us think like, oh, I was just lucky. It was not the real understanding, but it's actually an important part of learning English. And there's a fun story. I remember one of my coworkers used to say this very often. Sure thing. Sure thing. Sure thing. So he used it as a response to requests from customers. And I didn't understand it at first because of the sound linking. And later I realized, oh, he's saying something like, okay, I understand. I can do it kind of thing. I understood it from the tone of his voice and context. Even now, to be honest, I don't know the translation of sure thing because I didn't learn it in school. Did you? I don't know. I know the message, aka I've understood the language. So yes, literal meaning is just one layer, and there are more layers in language, message and feelings that the language is trying to convey, and we often oversee it. But again, it's extremely important. So if you're in a trap of translation game, word-to-word translation, oh, I don't know this word, oh, I don't know this phrase and stuff. But if you understand what the person is trying to say, if you understand it, you can actually understand the language. So what we can do is don't try to be a perfect translator because you cannot. If you understand, give yourself a huge high five because you deserve it. And this is much more efficient to learn the language. So we can shift our way of learning language from today. So once again, if you understand the message, you will acquire the language. Principle 4. Physiological training. Learn with your body. This one is simple though. Are you actually practicing it? I think I have to say it's kind of close to what Chris said in Principle 2. Use it right away. We've been using Japanese our whole life. And when I say speak, it's not only about, just speaking like this. We can use our facial expressions, smiling and using our hands and like bowing as well. So it's not only about language written on the paper. So how about English? Have we really trained ourselves enough to speak English confidently? Just looking at textbook won't help us remember how to say things in English. So what we need is physiological training to master English. So here's what I do daily, especially when I film videos like this. I open my mouth wider than usual, probably 20% more. Even when I read aloud, I try to use my facial expressions a little bit more like this, and then smiling, ideally smiling. And since I started this habit, two beautiful things have happened. Number one, I was able to train the muscles I need for clear pronunciation. Number two, I could stay more focused. When I use my facial muscles, my brain kind of switches to an English speaking mode. So here's my tip. When you read aloud or practice speaking to yourself, and try to move your mouth like 20% extra, and hopefully smiling as well. So use your expressions. Nobody talks like this. It's a bit scary, isn't it? So use your facial expressions, and because our brain and body are sort of connected to each other, if we can activate the muscles on our face, we will remember the rhythm and movement more effectively. And eventually, English will start to feel more natural to you guys. And that's our goal, isn't it? So, physiological training. Learn with your body. Okay, principle 5. Psychological states matter. Have you ever had this happen before? Same day, same year, but depending on who you're talking to, your English feels completely different. It has happened to me before. So it's a no-brainer that it gets more, I use the word. It's a no-brainer that it gets more obvious in a second language. Personally, I love this last principle because, many people emphasize the study methods or routines or something like that. But Chris, he is a psychologist himself. He kind of mentions about the importance of psychological states because we are humans. Feelings matter. And again, a lot of people try to ignore it. As a language learner, I know we get self-conscious thinking, oh, what if I sound dumb? Oh, will people laugh at me, my poor English? And we feel so uneasy. And when we feel nervous, we can't perform our best, can we? Have you ever thought about why we get self-conscious when we speak English? You don't feel the same when you speak to your best friend in Japanese. Well, because we judge ourselves. We like scolding ourselves, saying why can't you use the word that you learned last week? Oh, why can't you speak better? Why do you speak like a child when you speak English? We are so hard on ourselves. And there's a line in my favorite book, Eat, Pray, Love. During a language exchange, an Italian guy who was learning English at the time said to the author, she was learning Italian, struggling, and he said, when you're learning something new, you need to be polite with yourself. I'm not going to put the translation on purpose because I think this line tells a lot, even though you might say oh, this sounds a bit awkward in English, but I think this expression is just perfect. So yeah, the pressure that you created by yourself is just only counterproductive. I feel more chill. I can relax. I asked myself, what did I do? What helped me relax and be myself when I speak English instead of studying English more? And for me, it was not repeating I'm telling myself, I'm okay, I'm fine, I am great, kind of positive mantra. It didn't work for me. What worked for me was let others be themselves first. When I talk with someone, I let others express themselves freely. Here's something I learned as I got older. Everything is already okay in this world. We always go oh, this topic is not good, how I speak is not good, or something like that. We just keep judging this world. But whatever we see, whatever people say, it needs to be accepted. There's no yes or no or right or better or something like that. Because in the end, we human beings judge stuff and we put a label on every single thing. And I think in the end, that's what we do as well. But whatever you have right now, it needs to be accepted. And 99% it should be accepted. So you need to stop judging yourself. But I know how difficult it is. So what I'm trying to say is before you stop judging yourself, let's start with other people first. So let's make a place where we can relax and express ourselves freely by ourselves first. Whatever the English level is, whatever they talk, we can enjoy the conversation. Let's start from there because again, feelings matter. How we feel matters too. Accept their English, their speaking style, their pace and everything, and that acceptance will come to you eventually. Remember, what we want is communication, right? And when it comes to communications, feelings cannot be ignored. When you feel accepted, you feel safe, right? When you feel safe, you can relax, right? And when you feel relaxed, your English flows naturally. That's what we want. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know by clicking the like button. And if you've got any questions, comments, please let me know. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you're more than welcome to as well. All right, I see you in the next video soon.